Hey, ni hao, this is Jack from the China Crew channel. Unfortunately, I cannot be walking around outside as the compound I'm living in is up their security game, and they're only allowing me outside of the compound every 2 days now. So today we're going to be walking around in my garden. On this channel, we walk, talk, and defend China. If you missed our previous video, please follow this link I'll be posting on the top. Coming at you today is the news roundup from the last week. Some of the highlights of what's happened in China and around China. So let's get to it.
So you think you know China?
Or at least what other people have told you about it.
And that's fine.
But let us tell you what China is.
To us. Or even better.
Let us show you.
South Korea in trouble. South Korean health officials confirmed another 123 cases Saturday evening, bringing the country's total to 556. Nearly half of South Korea's confirmed cases stem from the Shincheonji Church of Jesus in the southeastern city of Daegu. The 108 cases stemming from the Cheongdu Daengnam Hospital cluster are primarily from the psychiatric ward, KCDC said. The agency also said South Korea's second death was a woman who was a long-term patient at the hospital. Hours later, 2 more deaths were reported, bringing total deaths to 4. Meanwhile, 4 South Korean soldiers have been infected with the new coronavirus. All holiday breaks and visitors have been suspended for soldiers in an effort to limit their contact outside military facilities. Samsung Electronics says it has shut down its mobile device factory in Gumi, South Korea, as one coronavirus patient was confirmed in its facility. 6 deaths. Iran closes schools in 2 cities. Iran reported 2 more deaths among 10 new cases of coronavirus, bringing the total number of deaths in the Islamic Republic to 6 and infections to 28. All schools and universities will be shut down in 2 cities. The shutdown would begin on Sunday in Chom, where 2 people have died from the virus. The shutdown will begin in the week in Iraq. All cinemas and art events across Iran will be closed for 1 week. Iran's Hajj pilgrimage organization has reportedly canceled all trips for pilgrims traveling to Iraq. Iranian officials have decided to close all of Iran's 5 land borders with Iraq and are mulling taking action to restrict visits to the holy shrines in Chom, where the virus has killed 2 people, and other places nearby. Second death in Italy. Italy reported the total number of novel coronavirus infections in the country jumped to 79 cases from an earlier figure on Saturday. The cases are mainly concentrated in Lombardy, which has 54 cases, and 17 cases in the Veneto region. 2 cases were reported in Emilia-Romagna, 2 in Lazio, 2 Chinese tourists reported at the end of January, and 1 in Piedmont. In addition, 1 patient recovered and was discharged from the hospital. A second patient infected with the new coronavirus died. The victim was female resident in Milan's Lombardy region. Italy has locked down 10 towns and asked more than 50,000 people to stay home, echoing China's lockdown of entire cities. World Health Organization concerned about cases with no clear link. The World Health Organization is concerned about the number of coronavirus cases with no clear epidemiological link. Although the total number of cases outside China remains relatively small, we are concerned about the number of cases with no clear epidemiological link, such as travel history to China or contact with a confirmed case. Harbin locks down 4 districts. Authorities in one of China's most northerly cities have placed 4 districts on a total lockdown in a bid to contain the spread of the COVID-19 coronavirus. The municipal government of Harbin, capital of Heilongjiang province, which borders both Russia and North Korea, said that all residents of Daoli, Dawai, Nangang, and Xiangfang had been placed in temporary isolation, and that all access points into and out of the districts, all of which are in downtown areas, had been closed. 7 cruise ships to house Wuhan medics. 7 cruise ships are planned to house medical workers in Wuhan. The first of these ships, the Blue Whale, arrived in Wuhan on Friday. The 7 ships will provide 1,469 beds in total. 14 days isolation for Wuhan discharged patients. Patients in Wuhan who have recovered from the COVID-19 will be isolated in designated areas for 14 days upon discharge from the hospital. After a 14-day medical observation free of charge, the recovered patients will be allowed to go home. This comes after a discharged patient tested positive again for the virus only 10 days after he was released in Chengdu, Sichuan province. Australia to allow return of some Chinese students. The Australian government said it would allow the return of some Chinese high school students who have been blocked from entering the country due to the coronavirus restrictions. Australian officials said the targeted easing of the ban would allow more than 760 Chinese high school students, none from Hubei province, which is the epicenter of the outbreak, to apply to return. In the US, 7,600 told to self-quarantine in California. People in California who have recently returned from visiting China are being asked to stay at home for the rest of the month to help stop the spread of the new coronavirus. The California Department of Public Health said Friday that 7,600 people have been urged to self-quarantine, stay home, monitor their health, and limit interaction with other people. The figure does not include those who visited the China's Hubei province region where the virus is thought to have originated, as those travelers have flown on charter flights and have been quarantined on the US military bases, including Travis Air Force Base in Fairfield. Human transmission might have started in November. A new study by Chinese researchers indicates that the novel coronavirus may have started human-to-human in transmissions in late November from places other than the Hunan seafood market. Fingerprint attendance banned. China asked all companies to stop using biometric identification systems amid the coronavirus outbreak. The systems use fingerprints to verify who is clocking in and who is clocking out for work, and may increase the risk of virus transmissions. Virus detected in urine. Top epidemiologist Zhong Nanshan's team detected traces of novel coronavirus in patients' urine, shedding more light on the transmission and prevention of the epidemic. Israel adds South Korea and Japan to the quarantine measures. Israel has expanded quarantine regulations requiring all those returning from South Korea and Japan to remain in isolation for 2 weeks. Quarantine was previously mandated for Israelis returning from China, Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Macau. Vaccines, antibodies, animal testing started. East China's Zhejiang province achieved a breakthrough in the novel coronavirus vaccine on Saturday. Antibodies have been tested in the first batch of animal tests run on rats. Chinese president personally thanks Bill Gates. Chinese President Xi Jinping has written back to Bill Gates, the co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, after receiving a letter from the US business leader on the novel coronavirus disease. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation pledged $100 million to fight the coronavirus. The foundation pledged the 9-figure sum towards efforts to detect the new coronavirus that causes the disease, to provide protection for at-risk populations, and to develop a vaccine as well as treatment. In his letter, dated February 20th, the Chinese president wrote, "I deeply appreciate the act of generosity of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and your letter of solidarity to the Chinese people at such an important moment." Thank you everyone for watching. If you like this kind of content, please let me know in the comments below. We can do more of these news updates more frequently. Please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. This is Jack signing off, and I'll see you in the next one. 谢谢。